I was on holiday 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I had a Facebook conversation with a guy who was claiming that science was very limited in what it could find out, and that we had to use other means, particularly when it came to aesthetic things about art and music and about morality. Well, I challenged him a bit, because it seems to me that actually art and music in particular, we didn't get onto morality, but those two are a matter of opinion and not a matter of fact. And I think that actually science is the way that will teach us facts. So the scientific method is the way we can find out facts. Anyway, I got my camera out and made a little video about our conversation. So here's the video. In 1968, one of my students wrote an essay or a story about a beauty pageant, a beauty competition. And his description of the young woman who won was very interesting, because one of the reasons she won the competition was because of the rolls of fat in her neck. Well, immediately I realised it was a huge difference, a huge cultural difference in our appreciation of beauty. Because my student was Ghanaian, I was working in Ghana in 1968, Ghana in West Africa. And of course in Britain, no young woman with rolls of fat on her neck would ever win a beauty competition, but she might in Ghana. Fast forward to yesterday. I was having a Facebook conversation with somebody I've been corresponding with for a week or so, quite lengthy discussions. He was a Christian apologist. I can't say the word. He was arguing that Christianity was true. He was claiming that science wasn't always the right way to find out whether something is true or not. And he gave the example of beauty. He said, we decide on beauty and not through a scientific approach. So the example he gave was mountains. He said, everybody agrees that mountains are beautiful. Now, I thought about one of my sisters who doesn't. So I said, well, who's done that research? And how many people did they find out about? What were their criteria? Across how many cultures did they do this research? And how many centuries? And then I began to put the beauty in scientifically, I think, because I said, if in a scientific method, the important thing is to try and prove yourself wrong. Now, human beings are very good at motivated reasoning. We look for reasons to prove that we're right. But, that's problematic. The scientific method is actually to try and prove yourself wrong. So, I suggested, why don't you look at music and see if what you're saying, i.e. that beauty is known to be right or wrong, works across that as well. Well, of course it doesn't, because I love Bach, J.S. Bach in particular, and other people find him awful to listen to. I love violin music. My sister thinks it's screeching noise. Lots of people like jazz or pop music, and that makes me shudder. And of course, then you look across different cultures, Chinese music, Arabic music. For some people who are used to it, it's wonderful and sublime. To others, it's awful. So his theory didn't stand up. So he blocked me. I was disappointed, actually, because I thought, that's sad. Because if we're undertaking discussion with other people, we have to be open to changing our minds. And that applies whether you're an atheist, an agnostic, or a Christian, or some other theist. And that's the adult thing to do. So I was sad that this guy couldn't measure up. Oh well, never mind.
It ain't necessarily so. It ain't necessarily so. The things that you're liable to read in the Bible, it ain't necessarily